8th chapter of the book of Tehillim, Lamnatseach al Hagitit, Mizmor LeDavid, for the leader on the Gitit, as we've said many times, all sorts of different explanation. Maybe it's an instrument that came from the city of Gat, as Rashi quotes some as saying, and others, say other words, but presumably related to some sort of instruments. We'll see that this psalm begins and ends with the same words. Adonai Adonenu, Ma adir shimcha b'chol haaretz, asher tna hodcha al hashamayim. Oh God, how majestic is your name throughout the earth, throughout b'chol haaretz, that you have covered the heavens with your hod, with your splendor. Now, how is it that we're going to see? What does it mean that God has covered the heavens? Let's see what it says. Mipi olelim v'yonkim isadita oz leman sorarecha lahashpit oyev umit nakeim. From the mouths of babes you have founded strength on account of your foes, to put an end to enemy and avenger, right? So we're talking about the mouths of babies. God is providing help, assistance, protection for the young, for beings that, of course, cannot defend themselves. When I look up at the heavens, at the moon and the sun, and see, right, what your finger has done, this incredible world in which we live in, ma enosh ki tezkurenu ven adam ki tifkedenu. I think, why are you even paying attention to us, to humans? We're mortals. What are you paying? Why are you listening? Right? So he's established that God cares, that God protects the Olel and Yonek, the children, the infants. But why, God? Why are you protecting them? Well, you're God who created this this universe that's incomprehensible, that's eternal, and yet you're paying attention to mortal man. And in fact, verse 6, Vatachserehu me'at me Elohim, v'chavod v'hadar ta'atreu. So maybe part of the reason God pays attention is because you made man a little less than divine. Man who was created, Bereshit, at the beginning, Tselem Elohim, right? B'tsalmo, Kidmuto, B'tsalmenu, Kidmutenu, the image of God, the form of God, whatever that means. You made humans, almost divine. You adorned the humans with glory, with majesty. So fantastic that you did that, God. We're in verse 7, Tamshilehu b'maaseh yadecha kol shata tachat raglav. You've made him master over your handiwork, laying the world at his feet. Think about the writings of Rabbi Soloveitchik and is in Halachic Man, I forget which books, where he talks about the dignity of man. I think maybe he's talking about, maybe it's The Lonely Man of Faith. He's talking about Adam 1 and Adam 2, and talking about Adam 1, is it, who's about creation and creates and is able to, he talks about how when he was young, to get from, Warsaw to Berlin, he used to sit in a carriage. It took days. And now he wants to go from his home in Boston to teach in New York. And he gets on a plane, and it was before TSA and the pains of planes these days. And, an hour later, whatever it is, he was in LaGuardia Airport with probably then a 14-minute cab ride with no traffic, et cetera, or probably somebody picked him up. So look at what you've done, God. You've given us the keys to the castle to take this world and to make it something so special. Continue in verse 8, Sonev alafim kulam v'gam behemot sadai, the sheep, the oxen, all of them, the wild beasts too, tzipor shamayim udgei over chochamim, the birds of the skies, the fish of the sea, whatever travels the paths of the seas, right? You have given all of this to us. And think of human ingenuity with medicines and then creation of different foods and fabrics and all of the different things that we have done based upon the animal world, using our brains, because we are Ma'at Me Elohim. We are the ones who are close to God. God, you created the heavens, you created the stars of the sky and the moon and all of the celestial beings and this incredible universe. But you also created this little thing called man and gave man the ability to control this world, to be in charge. And by doing so, you have empowered us to create a great world, which in some ways we have done. And thus, in a sense, the greatness of God is shown through the mortal being. And it is through man's development of this world. I talked technologically here, but certainly we can say it very much so through morals and ethics, even though that's not almost always clear as well, that the chapter concludes with how it started. Adonai Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimcha B'chol Haaretz. Oh God, how majestic is your name throughout the earth. And God's name is majestic throughout the earth because of the empowerment, because man is Tachserehu Ma'at Me Elohim. We're only slightly less than gods. And because of that, we have been able to, when our minds are focused in the right way, create an incredible world. And one that, if people look clearly, will realize and recognize is a reflection of God and God's empowerment of human beings. That is the only way that we have been able to create this world and further this world. And hopefully it shall continue. At times it seems like it's devolving. We're hoping for evolutions and revolutions in the ways that human medicine and morals and ethics, etc., rather than the other way around. Because when it's the other way around, certainly God's Adir Shimcha B'chol Haaretz, God's glorious name, is not seen on this earth.